Claire Shirey, playing concertina. She's also a fiddle player, lovely player both, and a bandmate, and a very good friend. Before we go any further, pop on over to Claire's channel. I'll link it down below. Give her a thumbs up, give her a subscribe. She's got all sorts of great tunes on fiddle and concertina, and you know, she's teaching all that stuff too. Even if you're not interested in fiddle and concertina and learning it, one cool thing about a channel like that is you can play along. She's got a bunch of great tunes on there. 2 whistles together is not always ideal, so if you want to play along with somebody else, she's got a ton of good stuff. So definitely check her out. Let's go break this tune down. First section of the A part, I'll run that again. Second section repeats the first bit. As usual, the last part's a little bit different. So it makes that big octave jump going from the lower A to the high A. That's one where those octave jumping exercises are going to come in pretty handy just to make sure you've got that confidence to really hit that high note nice and clean. But I'll run that again. Cool, I'm going to play the whole A part all the way through. And this tune does repeat. The A part repeats, so we play that twice through. The B part's interesting because it jumps all the way up to a high C natural. You go, wait a minute, I don't have a high C natural in the whistle. You're right, you don't. You can half hole it, or as I kind of demonstrated when I was playing it with Claire, you can drop the octave. And I wouldn't do it every time, but it does add some kind of cool effects, so I'm going to demonstrate the basic melody just as it would be written, and then when we go into the ornaments, we'll kind of come back and hit that. First section, we'll run that again. And now the second section is where that C natural comes. So keep that in mind. This might take a bit of practice and you might hear some fairly horrible sounds until you get the hang of it, but you know, give it some time, you'll get there. Catch that? We'll do it again. Whole B part, all the way through. The ornaments on this tune, because you've got that high C natural thing, gives you a lot of room to improvise and tweak things a little bit, but we'll run through the A part first. It's your first section there. So what I usually do is a sort of a double cut on the E. It's these 2 fingers. And then you can sort of crossing note that A as you land on it. Slide it, that works. You could even do that double tap thing, that kind of popping noise. You could slide the first E too. A lot of different options, that's kind of the point. And I'll just cut that B, and then a short roll back to the A. And the same thing again, that double cut. Yeah, double cut. And slide that B, going from a C natural to a B, so it's kind of a cool little slidey effect. And then a short roll there. Actually, it's not a short roll, it's really just a tap to separate those two Gs. Or you could do a triplet on that. You're going from B, C natural to D, and this is another good time to do that sort of accidental G in there. Right, that's how we do it. Separating those two E's with just a quick tap as you make that turnaround back to the second half of the A part. Single tap on the A there, just keeping it simple. Popping that A as you come back to it the second time. Then you do that big jump from the lower A to the high A. I usually will slide it, not so much for the ornament effect, but just because it tends to make that note a little bit stronger. When you start a little bit below that, it just seems to impart a bit more confidence in the note. The only other ornament I do there is that cut on the A, or tap, sorry. And then you cut that one. I've mentioned it a few times in other videos, the higher hand on the top octave is more susceptible to breaking. So trying to keep it simple, I think, makes it more likely that you'll succeed. Now the B part, because it jumps up, not really doing anything there except tonguing to separate those notes and give it that sort of jig groove. Rolling the A, and then cutting the B. Another roll on the A. Separating those A's with just a quick tap. You can also do a crossing noise or a slide on the E if you're so inclined. Rolling that B. And then the little sliding off that B to get that C natural, there's really no way around that. You just don't have the option to do the cross-fingered C. It doesn't play the right note. So you gotta just kind of roll off that B to the C natural. And then a roll on the A. Popping that high A again, just like I do on the low A. And then just like on the A part, the only other ornament I'm doing is the cut on the A. Just to keep things simple. Now, if we're going to drop the octave, which is sort of a variation, but can be useful, all the time, if you were so inclined to do it. Same thing as I would play on the higher octave. You can change the melody a bit because you have the option to do that crossfinger, or I guess you call it a crossfinger, C natural, the way we would normally do it on the lower octave. You can just do C, B, C, tonguing to separate the notes. Sounds pretty good. And then you can just jump it back up to the higher octave halfway through. Again, this is definitely a variation. I wouldn't mess about with that stuff until you're really comfortable with the melody as it was written, but it's a cool way to mix it up, and especially if you're having trouble with that high C, it's a way to kind of cheat the system and get the C's in there correctly, just an octave lower. Nothing wrong with that. And then back around again. I don't think I mentioned it before, but that's a tune called Winnie Jig, and it's one that Claire and I play with our band Wendell. We're going to be putting a video out of that set of tunes, including the one that she posted recently, and I posted maybe 6 months or a year ago, a tune called the Roaring Barmaid. So check that out if you're interested, if you've learned that tune and you want to play along with somebody who's playing fiddle. Kind of a cool way to do it. Either way, check out her channel. She's got a ton of great stuff. And say hi. And I will see y'all on the next one. Cheers, guys.